Hello, and welcome to Somos Mas, your home for World Cup action. In today's show, anyways, we had a fantastic round of matches in Group E and Group F today. We have a little bit of United news that I'm not going to talk about unless somebody else hops on here. But just know that if you're a United fan and you're listening, by the end of the night, I will know who that player we are announcing tomorrow is. I will find a way. Um, Other than that, let's jump into the World Cup news and go from there. Oh, really? That hurts my feelings, Carlos. That really does hurt my. It's just Jacob. I see how it is. I see how it is. I'm gonna ignore the comment for now. So going into the World Cup today, we had two groups that needed to be decided. One, Group F, which was decided in the morning. Morocco and Croatia were the two that would advance going into the day, and that stayed the same. Not because there was some unnerving, or not without some unnerving moments. Morocco goes up 2-0 on Canada in the first 23 minutes. Goals from Hakim Ziyech and En Nasiri. Um, the Ziyech goal was a gift of a goal off of a terrible play by the Canadian goalkeeper, and Ziyech scores from 25, 30 yards out, and um, it is. Sorry, I read Carlos's comments that I will like the new player as if he already knows who it is, and then Earl. It's just Jacob because as Seth and I didn't want to work Thursday, so um, anyways, Ziyech scores from about 35 yards out or so. Like I said, just a gift. David Carl's in the chat. Nice to see you, David. Um, and Canada gets one back in the first half, but Morocco ends up holding on to not only advance but win Group E or Group F. Sorry, and I did not have that. I don't know who had that. If anybody over here in the chat had Morocco winning the group, I'm the only one that can talk, Earl. I'm sorry. If you had Morocco winning the group, let me know in the chat. I did not have Morocco advancing, nor did I have them winning the group. So I actually had Canada advancing and Croatia winning the group. So at the same time that match was going on, Croatia and Belgium were kind of locked into a very contested match. It went back and forth. Croatia had an offside call that I think it's safe to say if it wasn't for this new technology that they're using, it would not have been called offside. It was by the slimmest of margins that he was offside, and and because of that, Croatia doesn't win the group, but they are still able to hold on and advance. Belgium, number 2 in the FIFA rankings going into this tournament, is out. However, they are not the only big dog that's out. The Group E matches or Group F matches were fun. I'm very excited for Morocco. They will be going on. For winning the group, they get the gift of playing Spain, which we will talk about in just a minute. But I'm very excited for Morocco. Canada had a very poor showing. I was really high on them going into this tournament, and they just didn't deliver like they should have. And so that makes me a little sad. But going into Group E, Costa Rica, Germany, Japan, and Spain. The favorites from this group, obviously Spain and Germany. Germany needed some help, but you thought, you saw Spain put up 7 on Costa Rica. Germany and Spain fought to a very hard 1-1 draw. You think, okay, Spain can beat a Japan team that just lost to Costa Rica, and if Germany takes care of Costa Rica, then maybe there's a chance Germany and Spain both go through. And that is not what happened. We had a crazy sequence in the second half of this match, but we'll start with the Japan Spain match. Even though you kind of have to tell this story with both matches here, Spain and Germany both score in the first 12 minutes. Morata scores for Spain. It looks like they're going to roll. They complete 1,000 passes in the first half, it felt like, and Japan just didn't have an answer. very similar to the Japan-Germany game, honestly. In the Germany game, Serge Gnabry scores in the 10th minute, and looks like maybe, just maybe, Germany's going to pull this off and end up advancing. Fast forward to the second half, because not much happened in the first half after that. It was 1-0 Spain and 1-0 Germany going into halftime. But then Japan, who is just super impressive this tournament, makes a couple changes at halftime, and then comes out, scores in the 48th minute, and then scores a semi-controversial goal in the 51st minute that we'll get to. And now all of a sudden Germany's done. Then you flip over to the Germany-Costa Rica match. Costa Rica ties it in the 58th minute. That result puts Japan and Spain through at that time. And you're like, okay. And then it dawned on me while I was watching that holy crap, if Costa Rica wins this match against Germany and Japan beats Spain, Spain and Germany are both gone. But I was like, nah, there's no way that happens. And Japan's holding on and keeping their lead. We get to the 70th minute in basically both matches, and all of a sudden I look up and Costa Rica has taken the lead. It ends up being Emmanuel Neuer own goal off of just a chaotic sequence there. And for about 3 minutes there, Spain and Germany are both out of this tournament. And we don't know. At that point, I didn't know what to do, what to say. My wife was looking at me quite funny because I was freaking out, and I kind of explained it to her, but she doesn't necessarily care as much as I do, I don't think. But then Kai Havertz, I can't stand Kai Havertz. If you were on the pod the other day, you heard me say that. Scores in the 73rd minute to put Germany level with Costa Rica at 2. And that, in turn, at that point in time, moves Spain into second place because of goal differential over Germany. And Spain's whooping of Costa Rica 7-0 there in that first group match really, really came into play today because of that, they really didn't. They were never like super. As long as they were level on points with whoever, they were going to go through because their goal differential was just incredible compared to everybody else. Yeah, Seth, she not even remotely close. Like it might be. I doubt she cared at all, but she humored me and listened at least. So then we're sitting here and Havertz scores. Germany ties it up again, and we're like, okay, well, it's Japan and Spain. Japan winning the group right now. Germany and Spain were finished level on points, but Germany would have had to have made up a plus. I think at that point it was a +6 goal differential, and that wasn't likely. But Germany did end up taking the lead in the 85th minute because thanks to Kai Havertz again. Spain tried, but man, Japan switched to a back five and just really, really packed the paint there, and and because of that, Spain just couldn't find that equalizer. At that point, with Germany winning by a goal, had Spain ended up coming back and drawing with Japan would have actually been out, and it would have been Spain and Germany going through. So at some point in the second half, all four of these teams were going through in some combination. And it was a lot of fun. I did pick Japan to go through. I picked Japan to go through at the expense of Spain, with Germany going through as well. So I didn't quite get it right, but I am happy that I got Japan going through right. And after their loss to Costa Rica, man, you thought that was going to come back and bite them in the ass big time. But they were able to they were able to find a way, get that second goal, which I'll break down that second goal in a minute, or talk about it in a minute. But at the end of the day, Germany does add a fourth. Nicholas Füllkrug his story is remarkable a little bit, by the way. I don't know if I'm sure if you've been watching these games, you've kind of heard, but 29-year-old been battling through lower division German soccer for a long time. Right now, he plays for Werder Bremen in the Bundesliga, and for him to be able to come in, and I think that was his second goal of the tournament, if I'm not mistaken. He scored the tying goal against Spain to preserve that draw and keep Germany alive going into this final group match day, and it just really impressive that he's been able to come in and do what he's done. But at the end of the day, it's not enough for Germany. Japan and Spain both advance. Real quick, the goal for Japan. I think at the end of the day, the right call was made. I don't think the ball's all the way out, even though it's super, super, super close. I think you can have an argument of with how it was handled on the field. We heard that it was inconclusive, but I don't know what the call was originally on the field. If they called it out and it was inconclusive, to me, that means it's out. Move on. But at the end of the day, Japan earned that goal with some brilliant play there to start the second half, and it's either going to want to. It could break Spain going into the group match. I don't think that's going to happen, but it could. It really could happen, and or it could turn them around and they could be fantastic after that. So we'll just have to see. Um, it sets up two really interesting matches, though. In the group stage, we've got Japan, Croatia, Spain, Morocco. Um, I'm I'm very excited for those two matches in the group stage. I'm not sure I'll give my picks right now. Might wait till the end of the episode, or see if after the group stage ends, we all want to hop on tomorrow night or something to talk about the group stage or the knockout rounds coming up starting on Saturday. Looking at tomorrow, we got groups G and H finishing out. And I mean, these groups just don't really move the needle for me. For the most part, I am excited for Ghana, Uruguay to see what happens there. This Ghana team has been extremely fun. I think everybody can agree with that. They almost get the fight back and get the draw against Portugal. Then them and South Korea had a back and forth game in their last matches, and so really excited for that. We'll start with Group H since those are the first games tomorrow at 8 a.m. Mountain Time. Ghana, Uruguay. Ghana is currently sitting in second place. They will clinch a spot with a win over Uruguay, or with a draw combined with a Portugal win over South Korea, or the draw combined with a Portugal South Korea draw. So basically, win and you're in for Ghana. Draw, and as long as South Korea doesn't beat Portugal, then you're in. Uruguay can still get to the knockout round, but they would need a win over Portugal or a win over Ghana and a Portugal win or draw against South Korea. They could get in with a win and a South Korea win if they overcome a 1-goal deficit in goal differential to South Korea. So they would have to win by 2 and South Korea by or 3 and South Korea by 1, so on and so forth. So I'm looking forward to this. I do think from what we've seen from Uruguay and Ghana will get out of this in some way, shape, or form. But after today's matches, who knows? We could see chaos there. We could even see South Korea end up going through. It wouldn't necessarily surprise me. Portugal has already locked up a spot in the knockout rounds after winning their first 2 matches in group play. And I think Portugal South Korea probably is a draw, and Ghana ends up winning. Or if Portugal decides to rest Bruno Fernandes, João Felix, stuff like that, maybe South Korea does get that win, and Ghana would need to win in order to get through. But I think I have a little bit of faith in this Ghana team, and we could have 3 AFCON teams in the knockout rounds Or if South Korea is able to sneak in there, we could have 3 Asian teams in there. We just don't know yet. It it's a banner year for a lot of confederations and teams, and I'm really excited about this knockout round coming up, starting on Saturday. So moving on to Group G, um, Brazil, Cameroon, Serbia, Switzerland. Brazil has already clinched their ticket with 2 wins in the previous 2 matches. Switzerland is currently sitting in second place. They will clinch with a win or a draw combined with a Brazil win over Cameroon, or a draw combined with a Brazil-Cameroon draw. So very similar to Ghana in the morning matches. Switzerland kind of controls their own destiny. They need a win. If they get a draw, they would need a little bit of help, but 2 of the 3 results go their way there. Serbia is kind of fighting an uphill battle. They're technically in 4th place right now. They would need a win combined with a Brazil win or draw against Cameroon. It helps Serbia that they're facing Switzerland, who's the team a couple points above them on the table, and Serbia's looked really good, but so is Switzerland. So we'll just have to see what happens here. Switzerland is full of Bundesliga teams or Bundesliga players, and they've shown that they're a very formidable opponent so far, with a win and a loss. The loss was to Brazil, though they did play them tough, and then they did beat Cameroon in the last match. Seth over here in the chat, of course, says, I'm all on board with the Samurai Blues going all the way. That would be fantastic. Be very entertaining. Not quite sure it's going to happen. We've only had 8 teams win this thing in its history, and Japan is definitely not one of them. But maybe this year is the year for a 9th team to come in, whether it's Japan or the Netherlands or USA. We'll just have to see, or Portugal even, from this group that we're talking about now. So it's going to be another fun day of soccer. I'm ready for the group matches to be over, just to move on to these knockout rounds, mainly to watch the U.S. match, of course. But I'm really excited about it. We'll see what happens tomorrow. If I'm predicting tomorrow, Ghana wins, Portugal, South Korea draw, Brazil wins, and Switzerland wins. So it'd be Brazil, Switzerland, Portugal, Ghana going through as the 4 teams from these 2 groups, and that would be a lot of fun. But we've got just a ton of things to look forward to over the next few days. I'm not sure. I think it's Earl tomorrow. We'll be coming on to talk about the matches I just talked about a little bit, and then we'll see. We'll be back either Saturday or Sunday for the quarterfinal. I'm thinking I might try to push these guys. We'll just do a nightly one, like we have been doing for the group stage, if they're up for it. And bring you coverage every night until every night that there's soccer played. I think we're going to try to bring you coverage if I can convince Seth to do that. And so we look forward to keeping you guys up to date with what's going on in the World Cup. We'll be back tomorrow. Like I said, I think it's Earl. And then from then on out, we just got 2 more days till the USA match. Super pumped for that. We'll talk about that tomorrow night. I think I might hop on with whoever's on if I'm not busy, and we'll go from there. I'm going to keep this one a little shorter, a little sweeter, 20 minutes. There was a lot that went on, but I think I pretty much touched it all, and can't wait for tomorrow and the next day and the next day until we're done with this tournament. So until tomorrow or my next time on, Somos Unidos.